and welcome to my kitchen. I am Chef Instructor Germaine Sibley Gordon with Common Threads, and I'm here today making an easy chickpea tikka masala. My specialty in cooking happens to be plant-based meals, so I'm really excited to bring this to you. And this is adapted from jessicaininthekitchen.com. So, tikka masala is an Indian curry based dish, usually made with chicken and a creamy sauce, but we are substituting chickpeas today. Now, with that, since we're substituting chickpeas, you can get them, you can buy them in the store. You can buy them, they're no more anywhere from 79.99 in the store. I made a batch here in my Instapot, and that way, if when I have some left over, I just did 2 cups in the Instapot. I added my own seasoning pouch to it. So this, I believe, was like dried orange rice, some smells like some cardamom pods, uh, and anise and some other seasonings in here. And I got that from a store in the Chinatown section here in Chicago, and put that in there with a couple of bay leaves, and that way that flavor really infuses in there, and you're less likely to um, add too much salt at the end because the beans already have a really good flavor to them. So that's my like trick for uh, um, cooking a little bit healthier, is making sure that if I cook it, I know I'm going to infuse enough flavor into it, and that way, um, when I go to season, I don't have to season quite much because that flavor is so good. And I know what's in there because I made it myself. And then you could batch cook it. You can make a bunch. And chickpeas are really great in a chili. And you add chili and black bean, chickpea and black bean chili. So it's something great. So I have it here. And so the recipe calls for 2 32-ounce cans of chickpeas drained. So basically, it's going to be like my whole cup here. So I'm going to take it out of my Instapot here. Let me get my big strainer book here. And that would just make it a little bit quicker. Oh, yeah. But I wanted to show y'all this process because this way, like I said, you have more control, and then you could store and freeze the leftovers, and then when you want to make some chili, you can make some chili. Okay? So let's see. So what we have here. So yeah, I have a little bit left over, or I could take what's left over and smash it and make some hummus. Now, as you see, I'm taking some bay leaves, and so I'm taking my bay leaves out. So this is my these are my chickpeas, and it's like 32-ounce can. So it's about 32 ounces right there. So that's gonna be so that's what I did for my chickpeas for the recipe. Oopsie. Got it covered. And so now there you go. And so now and then I'm gonna add, because one of the things you could do with tikka masala is that you can add vegetables to it. And so for the vegetables, I'm going to add some a little Swiss chard. Now I have some already chopped up right here. So what I did was and the thing is that in the South, it should be in season in the South. And so greens should be in season. So something really nice to add to a dish, okay? And so what you're gonna do is just roll it up, okay? And you see how I just took it from the stalk and I just rolled it up. And what I did I'm gonna cut it into ribbons. Now make sure you rinse, especially when you get them from farmers markets, because they're probably not rinsed as well. They're rinsed some, but you take them home and rinse them, and see how they're into like little ribbons. So I think that's really, really cool too, how they're just into little ribbons. So we got that. So everything else is pretty much prepped. So for this dish, besides the chickpeas, so we need, let's see, I have my 2 tablespoons of coconut oil. I have my half large red onion diced. I'm looking at my recipe right here so that I'm able to tell you. So I'm gonna look, and and that's my feline friend in the background. So my half a cup of red onion diced. Okay, so I have my fresh ginger. I always have my salt and pepper right here. Okay, my garam masala. Now that is something I made on my own because I could not find it on my own, and so I have the seasonings right here, and I just added like a tablespoon of cardamom and some what is that? I have cinnamon, nutmeg, ground cloves, cumin, curry, black pepper, added it in there. So that's my own garam masala. So 1 tablespoon of that, 1.5 teaspoons of curry powder, 1/4 teaspoon of cumin, 1 1/2 tablespoon of tomato paste, 28 ounces of tomato sauce, a jar or can, and so I had to like put it in two different containers. Okay, I have a cup of coconut milk and 2 teaspoons of sugar. That had where's my sugar? That helps with the acidity. This is my sugar. It helps with the acidity. And I have, like I said, a little Swiss chard, and I'm gonna slice my lime in half. Okay, and add the lime juice. And so we should be ready to cook right about now. Okay, so I think I have everything going. And so this recipe is going to be included with this, so you'll get the recipe. I just wanted to make sure that I had everything down for you guys. And so I have a really nice cast iron pan that I'm going to cook with. So and so put my lid over there. So what I like to do is heat up the pan, and then I'm going to add my oil, and we're just going to kind of add our seasonings first, okay? And so in this recipe, you're going to add the oil, and then we're going to add the onion, the garlic, and the ginger, and then we're going to add our salt and pepper and let that kind of simmer out, okay? So yeah. And I have like a wood spoon right here. Okay. And so I'm going to use my wood spoon. So I'm going to add my coconut oil. And so any kind of coconut oil would do. So this one, and depending on, you can go shopping at certain places. Every place has like a coconut oil. And so just add a coconut oil. And know Trader Joe's has one that doesn't taste coconutty. Some of them do. This one I have has a little bit more of a coconutty flavor to it. And so we're going to add our onion, our garlic, our ginger. Okay. And so this is my onion. So this is my half an onion. And so, yeah, I hear you. So we're going to have our onion, our garlic, our ginger. And so my garlic. And my ginger. Now, ginger. I have a cute little device here that I use, okay? Or I have a thing called a microplane, and I use that, okay? Or in what I have, oh, just a plain old box grater will do, okay? And so, oh, I love the way this coconut oil smells. And so, and you know, I'm from South Louisiana, you know there's just certain foods that we ate, and I'm gonna add my salt and pepper now. And so when I look at it, because the salt really brings out the flavor in the food when you add it at this point too. And so let's see, some do 1 layer of salt and some, yeah, a few cracks of black pepper. And I'm gonna get this on a medium. I have gas, and so that tends to, stuff can cook really quickly. Okay. So we have that going. So we have, let's see what we got going on here. Make sure I got all my stuff ready and going. So we're gonna add our salt and pepper to taste over the mixture, and we're sauteing that to that fragrant. Now it's already fragrant. It smells really good. That coconut oil is really kind of releasing a lot of those flavors. And that's about 5 minutes, okay? Then we're gonna add in our seasonings. It's gonna set it off up in here. You got the garam masala, the curry powder, the cumin, the tomato paste, and combine. So we're gonna add that tablespoon of garam masala, that 1.5 teaspoon of curry powder, and that 1/4 teaspoon of cumin in there. And let me stir this some more because I don't want it to stick, and I do not want, repeat, we do not want our garlic to burn, okay? That garlic burns, you kind of have to start over again. So let's keep this moving, okay? Okay. So like I said, when I finish with this, I'm gonna put the remaining beans that are in here in the container, lay them flat, since they tend to be like, they're gonna be like this. And so, really cool, really soft. Lay them flat. That flavor is so good. You really don't have to add a lot of salt. That's what I love. That is my number. That's what I love about cooking. When you add a lot of flavor to it, in that first stage of cooking the beans, just cooking them before we do all this. We'll cut this down because I don't want my garlic to burn. Beautiful. This tastes so good. Okay, so what else we got going on here? Where's my little? And so I'm gonna add my tomato paste. I'm gonna add my tomato paste. Okay. Okay. So I'm gonna add, like I said, this is the garam masala that I made myself, and I'm just gonna tablespoon of that. This is my curry. And this is my cumin. That's about 1/4 of a teaspoon of that. And so Yep. Shoot, we are just about done. And so so we have this. So we add the garam masala, we have everything, and so stir to combine, and then we're gonna add our tomato sauce. I'm gonna add our tomato sauce. Ooh. First one, my tomato sauce. Ooh. Oh, baby. Calm down. Mm. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Oh, those seasonings got me sneezing up in here. I'm gonna scrape the bottom of that pan to make sure all those seasonings. Ooh, all that good stuff gets combined. Like I said, this is really simple. Remember, there was a show called 30-Minute Meals. This is one of those 30-minute meals can almost be. Okay. So, oh yeah. Let me cut this back up a little bit. Now it's just a little bubbling, a little pop on me there. So I have my tomato sauce in here. Okay, and I got my chickpeas and my chard and my coconut sugar. So I want to make sure I got all that good. Yep. I'm just checking the bottom of the pan. So let's add my beautiful chickpeas. They taste so good. Do them yourself. You'll thank me later. You'll come back, just make sure you take the bay leaves out. You'll come back and you'll be like, oh my goodness, I did the chickpeas myself. So I put them in my Instapot in the slow cooker. I'm sorry, in the pressure cooker for about 50 minutes to an hour. So I pressure cooked them in the Instapot for about 50 minutes to an hour with the spice pack, with the bay leaves, okay? And that way, yeah, and plus you have all the spices, and I did that first layer of salt. And so this is really one of those dishes, the spices are gonna carry it. And I have a splash of tomato on my glasses, but we all good. I should put on cooking goggles. No, I'm just joking. So, okay, so we got that going on. So we have that. Now I'm gonna add my got my chard. I'm gonna add my coconut sugar before I add my chard. And so I'm gonna add, because that's the veg. And then the recipe, when you look online, and like I said, it's jessicainthekitchen.com. She talks about adding vegetables as to make it like a really hearty meal. And so that's what I'm doing with this. I'm just adding a vegetable and make it a little bit more heartier. I'm gonna sprinkle some of this sugar on there. Okay. And when I've made red lentil curry, and I've made a curry. And so I just sprinkled like half of that cinnamon sugar on there, because I'm gonna taste it. I gotta get my. Do I have a tasting spoon? I'm gonna have to get me a tasting spoon out. Okay. So add half that sugar. Okay. And so then bring to a boil. So bring the curd, then reduce it to medium to low so that the mixture, yeah. Okay. So let me add, I'm gonna add about a cup of this. I'm gonna add a cup of the chard. Okay. There you go, a heaping cup. So add about a heaping cup of my chard. Okay. And so make sure you cut it into ribbons because then that way it kind of will be easier to put throughout the dish. And I love it because it adds a contrast of color. Oh, yes, we got colors going on. This is the red chard, even though it has green, like the stalks are red. And so about a cup, just kind of riddled throughout, makes it look really, really good. I don't know if you can see. And when I'm done, I'll bring the pot so y'all can see. Okay, so I'm just adding this in. Okay, so we're gonna bring it to a boil. Yeah, and be careful because I don't want it to pop on me. So we're gonna bring it to a boil, and then we're gonna reduce it, and it's gonna continue to simmer for a few minutes, and then so we gotta let it. So yeah. So for a few minutes. So while we're doing that, I'm gonna cut my lime in half. Okay, now I'm gonna bring it down. There you go. So I'm gonna bring it down because I heard it kind of bubbling up. So I'm gonna bring it down and let it simmer. Pour the coconut milk, stir to combine, and we're gonna allow that to simmer for 3 more minutes. And then we're gonna taste it, see if it needs a little salt and pepper, and then we be done, okay? So we are back, and I am recording if I'm not mistaken. There I am. So we are back, and let's see. So as you hear, my chickpeas were just a stewing. I tried a bit, and I'm going to add the rest of my sugar because it needs a little bit more of that. Okay. And so as I keep stirring, let me stir. Now I had it, and I'm going to show you because the camera's going to be perfect. Oh, that's my naan bread. I had it kind of not all the way closed, but just to kind of let some of that steam out, okay? That's what they suggest in the recipe, not to close the lid all the way. So I'm gonna stir the rest of my sugar in, okay? So I'm gonna stir the rest of my sugar in, and then I'm gonna pour my coconut milk in, and I'm gonna combine that, and then I'm gonna season with the salt and pepper. And they were saying, don't forget to squeeze about a tablespoon of lime juice. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna add my milk. And they said 1 cup, 1 cup, that's a lot for 1 cup of coconut milk. And I use a light coconut milk on this one. Because at the time, that's what they had at the store. And so with the light coconut milk, there was no separation of like the thick part from the thin part. So when she talks about coconut milk in the recipe, she says coconut milk, the creamy white part separate from the coconut water. So you want the creamy white part. So this one I shook up and it was all kind of creamy. Okay. Okay, so ooh, that changes the color. Oh yeah, that's nice. And I'm just going to incorporate this in. And my fire is still on, it's still on low because I don't want it, because that bubbly starts popping. Like I said, I got some on my glasses. And so I'm going to add that milk in. And so I'm going to check and see how much I'm going to taste, and then going to taste, and then I'm going to add salt and pepper. Just keep stirring. Yeah, this is about the smallest pot you can go. It's not probably a big stock pot would do really good. But I like this because with that just with that cup of chard, it just has a nice amount of grain to it. It doesn't overpower it. And now you can add more or less depending on your taste. But I just said about a cup just to sprinkle. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. So let me have my tasting spoon and see what we got going on here. Okay. So I don't eat as much because my like I said, my beans are really, really flavorful already, so I don't need to add a whole bunch of salt. So I'm looking. I'm just gonna add like 1 layer of salt. I already added a layer before, and a little bit of cracked black pepper. And my garam masala, when I made my homemade garam masala, I added black pepper, so it already has black pepper in there too. And so I'm going to taste again. 1 more layer. Oh, but that heat is perfect. So I'm just going to add 1 more layer of salt. That's the 3rd layer of salt. And that should be perfect right about there. Oh yeah. That should be perfect right about there. And so I'm going to taste that and I'm going to add my lime. That's perfect. That is perfect. So I'm going to add that. And so then the last thing they said is add the lime. She said about a tablespoon. So remove it from the heat and squeeze lime over the top. So I'm just going to, and I'm going to push it back a little bit. So this is heavy. It would be heavy for me to pick up. So I pushed it back a little bit. And I am going to squeeze some lime. I'm going to take my, squeeze a little bit of lime over the top. About a tablespoon, so I'm going to do about a half because this lime is giving me a lot of juice. So sometimes limes can be persnickety and not give you a lot. But this one's giving me a lot of juice. So I'm going to squeeze my lime. Don't forget the lime. Don't forget the lime. Add my lime. So I'm going to get 1 last taste. Now, if you have some and you want to make a double batch and freeze it, you want to add cauliflower to it, you want to add spinach. If you add spinach, add that last, okay? Last, because spinach is wilts even more. I'm gonna run over here and get my naan and get me a bowl. This is my naan bread. So this is what I have here. Just a little bit of naan bread. You can use, you can make some white rice. You can make some brown rice. Okay. But I added that. So, and I had a little bit of dried cilantro I'm gonna add on top. Okay. A little bit of dried cilantro I'm gonna add on top. Pull this back. And let me show this to y'all before I start eating, because before I start eating, it's all over with. And so I've had these little gloves here to show y'all how it looks. I'm gonna bring it up closer. So this is, oh yeah, that's how it looked. That's what we cooking, okay? So that's what we cooking. So I'm gonna put it in my bowl. Show it to y'all in my bowl. Oh yeah, that was perfect. Got that in my bowl. Okay. See, I got my bowl here. Actually, I'm gonna push my camera down so y'all can see it a little bit better. There you go. That's perfect. Okay. And I have my bread here. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. And I'm just gonna eat it like that. And that's really, yes, do not forget the lime. Totally changes it. Oh, it's so good. Do not forget your lime. You know, at least a tablespoon of lime. So don't forget your lime. It really adds to the flavor. You can do brown rice with this. And my son is taking my food. And so you could do a brown rice. You can do, I do a basmati rice, which has a lower starch content. And so you could do, like I said, rices, and I have the naan bread. And you could buy this from like a Trader Joe's. So, so yeah, so that is, oh my gosh, this is so good. So that is my chickpea tikka masala for everybody. I hope you enjoy it. My son's enjoying it. I'm going to see if I can get some. And so this can be frozen. Like I said, my big tip, make the chickpeas yourself, and that way, and then make double, and that way you can control the flavor. And that helps you to cut down on the salt because you're controlling your flavor. And you can do that with any bean. Your red beans, get a little pouch. Okay, put your dried large seasonings. I have some dried rosemary over there. You can have some dried thyme, dried garlic, dried onion, um, red pepper flakes. Add that to your beans and you infuse that flavor, and then you taste it, and then you add the salt at the second stage of cooking. And that way you get better flavor and you're not over salting your food because you don't want to put the salt on top, which is not good for you. You want to have that flavor in your food already. So I'm gonna let you guys go eat because I'm about to go eat. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy this recipe. Again, I'm Chef Germaine Sibley Gordon with Common Threads. I hope you enjoy.